Hey everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And today we are going to be building a starter home for a couple of newlyweds in the world of Newcrest, and it is the world that came with the base game, and we are building, I think, on a 20 by 15 lot, and the lot is known as Comfy Cubby. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, it will be on the top left corner. But anyways, this build is quite simple and short, and I kept it under 10 minutes actually, I took a very short time building it because I wanted to do a starter home, and I had it all planned and I just want to carry out. It is currently 1 a.m. in the morning as I'm doing this voiceover, so I might sound a bit raspy, but I think you can just bear with me. But anyways, you can see that the structure of the house is pretty much simple. It contains only one bedroom and one bath and a kitchen that is shared with the dining room. And I really tried to keep it simple and base game only. Oh yeah, and it is a base game only, so you will be able to download this house if you want to, because you only have to have the base game to actually play this house. But I play tested this build already and everything works perfectly fine. You don't have to move around anything, but yeah. But as you can see, for the door of the build, I actually will be changing it off camera to a base game door, because I decided halfway that when I was building this when I was building this build, I decided halfway to actually change it to a base game only build. And it was quite tough for me because there were a lot of limited choices for the items, especially the build mode items. But for the debug items, I used them a lot, and I think it is very money saving, because I wanted to challenge myself to try and build a base game only with a limited budget, which is a starter budget, and I think the starter budget is for a couple of newlyweds, which is around 20,500 simoleons, like that. And this house ended up being only 18,000 simoleons, and I'm quite happy with that because it's my first time building a limited budget starter home, and I actually already like it's just enough, and I think a lot of people actually do for starter homes, especially it is only 20,000, but I managed to save another 2,000 for this build, so I really hope you guys will like it. As for the color scheme of the build, you can see that I used those base game paneling that are horizontal, and I paired it with a brick type of wallpaper swatch with some paneling on top, and I think that the blue and white colors very suit each other very well, because they are kind of in the pastel range, but they're also kind of not. So I'm really happy with the outcome, but I really hope you guys like it too. Before we get further into the build, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and comment something if you want to. But yeah, back to this build. For the landscaping, all of the landscaping, I basically tried to only use the debug items that came with the base game, and I think I aced it because there are no like build and buy normal menu items which are priced, except for the backyard, which has a table that I use from the outdoor stuff for the build buy menu, and also I think several garden pots that you will see after this. But as for the landscaping, the rest of it is all debug items, and debug items are basically non-valuable, so I'm really happy with that, like how it turned out, because I didn't expect to use a lot of debug items for a build, especially because I only use like those items that are in the normal build by catalog. But I'm really happy with the outcome of this house, and I really hope you guys will like it too. But for the backyard also, it is pretty simple, with a couple or several garden pots, and also a backyard dining table, which is the umbrella one, which I think is pretty cute and pretty suits this type of build, which is kind of suburban, I think. But for the structure of the house, I stuck to traditional structure, and it is not modern or anything like that. And I also use these columns that I found in the debug menu that clearly looks kind of like like really bricky, and I really like them, so I paired it with the fence, the fence and the column to make it look like it is built in. But you can see that part of the poles that I use are kind of sticking out, but I just hope you guys can see it in like it's a pattern on the brick. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing fine, because I am doing fine at 1 a.m. And I recently applied for a job, and I'm really hoping that I get that job, because I've been an unemployed graduate for like several months now, and I really hope that I passed the interview, so wish me luck, guys. But anyways, you can see that I'm placing these garden pots over here, and the landscaping I think looks brilliant, because I've never used those bushes with the orange flowers on it, and I think there are also red flowers on it with also purple. I'm not sure, but I've never used those before, and I think the white ones that I put there, you can see, they're also actually in the normal Build By catalog, but I used the debug ones because they don't cost anything. It's 0 simoleons. And I also put those pretty rocks that came with the debug menu, just to make it look like it is a pathway between the back door of the house and also to the outside part of the lot. And I also used these bushes, and I really like these bushes because it kind of looks more textured than the other bushes that came with the debug menu, and I think it looks great for covering up anything that looks awkward in a way. But anyways, for the interior, I will be also using all base game everything, and I think it looks really nice, for especially because it's my first time doing a starter home properly. And for the color scheme for the wallpaper, I use these natural colors, which are kind of wooden brown, and the bedroom is the same swatch but with flower patterns on it, which is blue. And I wanted to match the interior with the color scheme that I use for the outside part of the house, so it kind of looks like they complement each other. And I just stuck to the consistent color of little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and also some browns on it. And the living room over here is pretty much simple. I just put in a couple of paintings and also that TV stand that I think is a side table. I'm not so sure. But anyways, this part over here is going to be the kitchen, and the kitchen is in a kind of a light brown color with some dark brown for the background. And I think they are the cheapest counters for the Build By menu. But yeah, since it's a starter home, everything should be cheap and just minimal. So I think that it looks really nice here, because it's quite a nice color for a cheap price. So I just used them because I wanted to save money, and in the end I saved up, I think, like 3,000 simoleons for the newlywed couple that I created for this house. And I'm quite shocked actually, because I expected me myself to actually like use more of the items and get carried away, but somehow I managed to keep it under 20,000 simoleons. And at this point of the video, I actually forgot to put a dining table in here, so I recorded it again like after everything was complete, and just cut up the video in a couple of parts and just move things around here and there, and you will see that it's kind of a weird transition after this, but it's bearable. And I also use a cupboard over there, the shelf, to cover up the sticking out part of the, I think the column, the bricky column just now I said, and it kind of looks natural. But for the bathroom, you can see that at the corner over there is a the column sticking out, so I will be covering that with a bathtub, even though it is not an ideal way to cover it up, but it still functions as a bathtub and a bathroom, so that is, yeah, very easy. But as for this bedroom over here, I kept it really simple as well. There is only a painting for decoration, and there are no clutter objects on the dresser, because I don't think it was necessary for a starter home, especially when the newlywed just like married and wanted to move into this small house. But anyways, we are at the end of the video, and I really hope you guys liked the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!